Our mission is to encourage and uplift women to birth their ministry and accomplish their mission. Together, we are the difference in action for positive change. Two humanitarians, Drs. Anita Mckaney and Tomesha Walker, are changing the world by giving voice to women around the globe, encouraging authors, marriages, mothers and wives to live out their ministry on mission. Join us Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and spread the word in our goals of making a difference in the life of 200,000 people. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. We are so excited to welcome you here. We are wrapping up season 2, and this is seasons 2 mission recap. Woo! Welcome to all of you and to my illustrious co-hosts. Hello, Ambassador Dr. Anita Mckaney.
Hello. Greetings to everyone. We're so excited to be wrapping up season 2. That was a lot. That went by very quickly. And I'm just really excited about all the guests that we've had, all the opportunities that we've had to share, the conversations, the explanation, the revelation, all the things. God is truly good. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to bring so much knowledge, expertise to you, our audience. I want to shout out to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for following Ministry on Mission and on all the places. Thank you for writing in. Thank you for recommending. Thank you for recommending people to be on the show. We are getting the emails, we are getting the messages, and we are grateful because next season's lineup is fire, and I'm excited about it.
Oh, yes, you better talk about it. But we're not gonna jump ahead too fast, but she's letting y'all in on the tea. Next season, yeah, there's some really, really beautiful things that will be happening next season. So make sure that you guys have this time set aside in your schedules. Make sure that you are prepared with your pen and paper. Make sure you have your Ministry on Mission journal ready to go with all of your notes so that you can propel forward in what God has called you to do, because we give gems and tips every single episode. Every single episode, there's actionable items that you can take to make sure that you are moving forward in what God has called you to do. So I encourage you to make sure that you put your best foot forward, that you make sure you absorb and take into account and put into action all of the things that we are sharing and showing here on a consistent basis every episode that we come together. So, as my co-host said, let's get into this recap and share some of the amazing guests that we've had so far and some of the things that they have poured into us to allow us to continue to journey further on this mission that God has called us to. So
Speaking of recap, you can rewatch these shows, right? You can go back and see an episode that you have missed live, and you're able to go back and take those notes. You're able to go back and get those actionable items. So listen, do that. Be assertive in your own growth, in your own ministry, and in your own mission.
Yes. I love that. Make sure I even go back and watch the shows. Okay. So make sure.
Me too. I definitely do.
It's really good. So to open up season 2, we started with the mission of children, and we had the awesome opportunity to interview an amazing woman in the ministry. Like I've known her for years. We've known her for years, actually, and just to watch her blossom and to do so many amazing things as she does for children, specifically praying for them and then branching off into her podcast and sharing with the world breakthroughs with 21 Breakthrough or Breakthrough 21. I mean, she is just doing some awesome and amazing things. So Barbara Mubaro, she is just a wonderful woman that has listened to the Lord and has accepted the call on her life and chosen to walk it out in multiple ways. So I will ask you, Dr. Anita, what would you say was one of the top things that stood out to you from that episode interview?
Well, I really love how Barbara Hamilton Bombara, because I wanted to make sure I got both of her names correct this time, how she took her passion, her drive, and the things that God has anointed her to do. And not only it became ministry, but it literally became mission. It became a business. And so I really love how she's integrating all the things that she does. Not only is she sign language extraordinaire, but she's also teaching others so that they can teach others. And it became a business. And so I want people to know that sometimes whatever that passion, whatever that drive is, that thing is that you have in your life, you want to be able to sometimes use that as a vehicle, right? To monetize, to grow into something that is going to be sustainable for your children, for the future. And so that is always an option, that is always an avenue so that you can not only bless those in your immediate circle, but you can literally stretch out and be a blessing to others who can find you, who can access your products, who are able to truly get a lot out of what you are offering. And for her, that is certainly the case as she works with families and children and their babies and teaching them to sign. It just pulled all my heartstrings to watch her videos, to follow her on Instagram and see the babies like learning how to sign, because her literal gift is just communicating with moms, dads, their children through sign language and through teaching others how to communicate with you who otherwise wouldn't have a way. And so I really enjoyed that part the most, and how she not only used it and gifted it to people, but she also monetized it. And now it's more sustainable for her own family and for her own future.
I love that. I really love that. My favorite takeaway was that even though she shared how she had some trepidation, like she was a little concerned about stepping out to do different things, and how maybe she didn't have everything in place, right? And she was trying to figure things out. But I love the fact that she did it anyway. Even though she didn't have everything perfect, even though she didn't feel overly confident in what she was doing at all times, she knew what she was called to do, and she pressed on and she did it anyway. She asked for assistance, got assistance, and got it done. And I loved that. Even though it seemed difficult at times, even though it was a little scary at times, even though she was like, wait, who, me? I've never done that before. How do I, what? Lord, you want me to do what? She still did it. And I love that she still went ahead and got it done. She has accomplished so much. She's accomplished so much. And I just remember when it was just an idea. It was just an idea, and she felt like God wanted her to do it. And so she did it anyway. And I love how she talked about in the very beginning, when she started doing her prayer call for children. And she said nobody was on, but she knew God told her to do it at that time. And she would just show up by herself and keep notes on what God told her to pray about. And she would just show up. And I said, that's beautiful. And that takes trust. And it takes just a pure heart towards the Lord to just say, if you told me to do it, my yes is my yes, and I'm going to get it done. I'm going to accomplish what you told me to do. So that's my favorite point. She did it scared. She did it with nobody. She just stepped out there and said, God, you said yes, I say yes. Let's do it. Let's get it done. So I love that. I love that.
Me too. It's incredible, and I think that's sometimes what keeps us back is that lack of faith and that fear and feeling anxious about, what's going to happen and what if, instead of just pure obedience. Like, she literally has a pure obedient heart, and she's just trusting God for the future, no matter what that means, no matter what that looks like. And that is admirable in any woman who is trying to truly start her ministry and finish her mission. So our
Oh,
next
truly.
guest, right, as we move on through the season, we got a chance to talk about the mission of family balance. And
Yeah.
this was a beautiful episode that we were able to talk to a tremendous woman who has traveled the world. She is a queen in her own right. She works with lots of couples with her husband and has literally changed people's lives. And so it was our great pleasure to be in the same space as Dr. Nefertina Serrano. It was incredible.
It was. So she brought so much life. She brought so much information and connections. And as you say, she is a queen. So I had an opportunity to meet her for the first time when I went to compete in the Women of Achievement pageant in California. And she was there and received her legacy crown. And that was a beautiful thing to observe and to be a part of, as she was the first African American to receive that honor. And so it was just awe-inspiring to watch her take that walk when they called her name. It was so beautiful. So yes, a true queen and crown queen. Um, as you spoke about her and her husband, I love watching how many couples they've been able to support and assist. And even now, they just launched a new television show.
Mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm.
Serranos are doing some amazing things. And so within their episode, it was exciting to talk to her about the mission and even how not only she said yes to what God called her to, but how her husband said yes to what God called him
Yes.
to.
Right. Incredible. I've been a long time admirer of her just because of the ministry that she does with couples and with marriages and the retreats that she holds, the conferences that she makes available to people, how they are able to literally help people reconnect and reestablish their relationships. You know, she's written books, she's been able to help people on many fronts, and she is the most down to earth person. You would never realize how many accolades, how many awards, how many trophies this woman has. But I tell you what, she has a heart of gold. And it was just my honor and privilege. And we hope to do more with her in the future. We are looking forward to all the things that are coming in 2023 and 2024. And congratulations to you, Dr. Tomesha Walker, for joining hands with her, and you all are both directors now, right? Together with a branch of the Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs. So much congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been really wonderful working with her and being even able to just continue to learn from her. It has been beautiful. So, not only from what we gleaned within the show, but just watching the global impact. And she shared also on the show how she's an author and she had an opportunity to travel the globe doing that. And right now is in the midst of releasing another book and getting ready to go overseas again to a couple of different countries. And it's just, I love watching that global impact that she and her husband are making and literally choosing to help change the trajectory of families because they're taking the time to pour into
I was going to say, and what really jumps out to me is her humility as she's doing it all. Like she literally is the most humble person, and you would not guess that she had done so much, had gone so far. She's so kind and literally is looking out for others instead of herself. And that was the thing that stuck out to me the most about her. So congrats, Dr. Serrano, on all the things, the new book, the new show, the new collaboration. She was also in a book collaboration. There's so many things that she's doing simultaneously, just looks effortless. So much congratulations to her.
Truly an ambassador. That
truly.
Awesome. She is awesome.
Yes.
So that episode just took us over the hill. We were head over heels. We really do love all of the guests that we have an opportunity to talk to and glean from and share with. So don't forget, you guys, whenever we're on and you see somebody or a topic or a person, ask the questions. ask the questions because we have them as a captive audience to share with you information and knowledge. Get that knowledge, okay? If there's something that you're wondering about that they do, just ask. They are so open and have been so willing to share the ins and outs of who they are, of what they're doing. And I can honestly say the women that we have had on, their hearts, they are so kind. So listen, get your questions in. Don't let an episode go by where you don't listen in, and ask the questions. Even on social media, as we post about it and you see what they do, ask the questions, because then that gives us an opportunity to ask them, and you can listen in on the episode and see if your question gets picked as one of the ones that we ask them about. Be included, get involved. That's what we're saying, get involved. All right.
Right. And then you can also just even follow up on those sessions after the show. Some of you haven't been able to take advantage of those yet. You want to make sure that you take a look and see what was the follow-up, what questions were asked that we didn't make on the show. You know, there is much to be said about each of our guests, and an hour is just not long enough. So make sure that you are following Ministry on Mission, hashtag Ministry on Mission in all the places, because there is so much. And follow our guests, right? Make sure you follow them. Make sure you like, subscribe if they're on YouTube or whatever social media or whatever business, right? We want to support one another. That's what we want to do, and to build each other up, to edify one another. Iron sharpens iron, right? So that's what we truly want to do, so that we can all be a force for each other and truly grow together.
Truly, truly grow. So in our next episode, we had just a fireball. Dr. Tynesy Lynch, like man, okay, so I first met her in London. I'd never seen the woman before a day in my life, and I met her in London. And ran into her as I was going to do some outreach work in London. And she was just like, wait a minute, ma'am, what is going on? You know, like that is her personality. It is just so vibrant. So we had an opportunity to ask her different questions and to talk to her. And she supports GIA. And it is just a beautiful organization that allows us to connect globally and to be able to learn, to be able to grow, and then to be able to be acknowledged in things that we do throughout the world. And so that is just a portion, and we'll talk a little bit more, but that's just a portion of the things that she does, right? So in her specific episode, we, and I will say, Ambassador Dr. Anita, y'all know, she does her homework. She always does her homework. So it was so neat because she was able to pull out, and I don't know if I want to give it away. I kind of want y'all to watch the episode to see, but she was able to pull out some very cool and unique details about Dr. Lynch's family. And
yes. Listen, I'm not going to give it away. I want y'all to go and watch that episode. Let's just say she has famous connections. Let's say that she has famous connections. And you know what? I really enjoy talking to Dr. Lynch because she is a celebrator. She is a celebrator. She loves to award, reward. She loves to acknowledge and to give honor, right? Where honor is due. That's who she is. She is one who honors, having the military background that she does. She understands respect. She understands protocol, and she understands honor and giving and how important it is to celebrate people in your life. And that was my takeaway with her. Like, I truly admire how she will put her own accolades to the side and clap for someone else. Not everyone has that gift, and she definitely does. Those who can lift others up and it doesn't diminish their shine, right? That's Dr. Tynesy Lynch.
Yes. The episode that she did was the mission of women in ministry. And so it was beautiful to watch her and how she shared on there that she has a prayer call and how she goes out and she ministers. And it was beautiful to me to watch also, just as she stepped out on the waters and decided to do things, and even being in the military and supporting. She was in very much so a supportive role for families within the military. And it was just unique for me. And I was excited to just hear more about her history, just more about her story, her family, and how she experiences life as a woman in ministry. And that was beautiful. It was just absolutely beautiful. And to hear her talk about her children and what they're doing now and the impact that she's had on their lives because of her choices in ministry and how she just dealt with all of that. So it was a really good episode that reminded me of just how important it is to not only answer the call that you have on your life, but that it's okay to stand up and be proud to be a woman and being called as God has called you to move, right? And that it's okay. It'll be different in different circles on how you're received, but to still walk out the mission that God has given you to do, no matter what, in excellence, with honor, and in order. And I love that. I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it was really, really awesome to have that episode and then the next episode, because I feel like those two women were just powerhouses back to back. We had Dr. Tynesy Lynch, and then we brought on Apostle Dr. Pamela Bynum. Wow, the Ministry of World Outreach. Like, literally, this woman is touching the world through the gospel of Jesus Christ and is a proud proponent of all things love and grace. And I am so just honored that we were able to have her on the show, because her schedule is just out there, like so many of us, just so busy. And we finally got a chance to nail her down. And not only that, but that was the episode where we announced that we had become ambassadors to the UN through WOMI. And what an honor and what a privilege. And I just have to give a shout out to Amanda, who did our announcement for us. What a blessing she is. That show is really, really special. If you have not seen it, listen, go watch it. Go watch it and celebrate with us. I love that episode. And I love how Dr. Bynum was able to share so much about her testimony, how God blessed her to be able to push through in ministry despite a cancer diagnosis. I'm not going to give it all away, but she has a testimony, and that testimony brought us all to tears, and you will just have to watch to understand. But I'm telling you, it's amazing how God will use the struggle and the hardships and the hard things of life to push you to the next level, to take you to the next thing. And that was definitely what happened with her. And even to this day, she is still sharing that testimony. It's still having that ripple effect through not just her local community, not just her national community, but now her international community as an ambassador, as one who goes out and shares with others. And so it was just a delight to have her on the show.
Yes, yes, and yes. It was absolutely wonderful having Lady Amanda come on and speak about that appointment, and then being able, as you said, truly to nail down and be able to have on Apostle Pamela Bynum. Listen, I've had an opportunity to be in the same room with her, to watch as the Lord works through her and minister. I've watched her pray for, talk to. It was an honor to interview her and to hear her story. And just like the very first time that I heard her story, just as you said, I was brought to tears. I was trying my best. Y'all know I have my seatbelt moments, right? Oh my gosh. I had seatbelt and tissue moment on that show. Okay. I'm just sitting there I was like, I was trying to keep it together and it was not working. I did not do a very good job of it, but it was just beautiful to see how God weaved together so many different things to provide encouragement, right? And I'm experiencing that in my life right now. And I love the fact that God ministers to us, right? He makes it his mission to minister to us. And I appreciate that even through the different journeys and segments and seasons of life, God continuously stays there. God is continuously speaking to us. He's continuously helping us to move forward and support others. And you see that in her life so clearly. She has taken what God has given her in gifts and in talents and in wisdom and decided that she would not keep it to herself. The fact that God allowed her to continue to live, she has gone globally to now support that mission and helping others to know about the God that she serves. And I love that she came on to share that with us and to allow us the opportunity to share with the world her appointment and just the way that God has been moving in her life. Y'all watch that episode.
I mean, it was incredible. It's hard to explain, right? When we interview some of these people, like it's like a you had to be there moment. But once again, congratulations to Her Excellency, Apostle Dr. Pamela Bynum. We love you, and we were so grateful to have you on the show. Just incredible. Truly. Truly. So who do we have next?
So after she was on, we were graced with the honor to be able to then come back together and speak with Anne, wonderful woman who travels the world. We actually, after announcing the global appointment, which all of us were still kind of, I think, in shock, like,
right?
Wow.
Right.
Wow, this is real. It is. Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, it is real. We were literally able to cross the waters and speak with a woman who was in Kenya being the mission as a missionary. Okay, guys? So it wasn't even us just speaking to people who are working through, what God is calling them to do, but it was actually talking to this wonderful evangelist that was in Kenya, and calling us and speaking to us in the middle of the night to do actually early morning. It was like midnight, 1 a.m, to do this interview. So Evangelist Raquel, to hear her talk about how her focus was working with widows and orphans. And that was our title for that show, the mission of widows and orphans. She is working in the slums, living in an orphanage, working in the slums in Kenya to support the families. And specifically the one that she's in had, I believe, 35, 36 families.
Right.
And she's up to feeding 25 of those families that have mothers who are widowed, with food, with resources as far as reading material. And I said, that is just beautiful, wanting to come in and give them not only the word of God to learn from, but then also things that can help them with their everyday, day-to-day activities with food and with educational materials to help move them forward in their day. So it was a beautiful episode to be able to talk to her and just glean from how to walk it out. Like, we're talking to somebody who's in the field. She literally said, now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay on the whole time, if you're going to be able to see me, because the power could go out, right? She's like, it's a little dim here. We're going to do our best. But the episode, it was a beautiful episode. She shared so much wonderful information and just allowing us a peek into the world of a missionary who is walking it out in real time. That's dedication to me. What do you say?
Oh, yeah, she's definitely the literal hands and feet of Jesus, right? I was hungry and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. That is Evangelist Raquel. Like, she is touching people in a tangible way and meeting felt needs of people that the Bible specifically says to reach out to, those who are homeless, those who are widows, those who are orphans. Not only is she working with these populations, but she is living with these populations. It makes me think of someone like a Mother Teresa, right? Somebody who's just given up everything, and she's going to be there at that location for 6 months. That's a long time. This is not a short-term mission trip, right? This is her life. She is literally working towards staying there, living there. This is her full-time job. And so I want you to watch that episode. I want you to do more than watch that episode, but support Evangelist Raquel. There is always need. There is always those who will be around you who need a hand, right? That is one of the factors of, you know, equality, right? Some people need a little extra to get to the same place as some of us who are already there or grew up, you know, not in poverty, but with spoons in our mouths or in a better place and don't even realize it. And she brought that to light in such a beautiful way. You have to listen to the story. You have to really just immerse yourself and allow yourself to feel this story because it was so tremendous. And I just thank God for her truly from the bottom of my heart, being a missionary myself and going out and touching other people and literally having the ability to change someone's life in an instant because you reached out, because you touched, because you gave. That was the part that impacted me the most. So definitely watch that episode and definitely support.
Yes, yes, yes. Because I'm excited when we can come back and report that all the families in the slum that she specifically works in are being fed. Like I'm excited for that moment. I'm excited for that. So then we went from talking about the families that were there and being taken care of and supported in Kenya to families back here at home. And we had an opportunity to talk about some people near and dear to our hearts. It was our Mother's Day special, and it was the mission of motherhood, of course.
Yay! It was so great to meet your mom again. And just to watch the interaction between Dr. Walker and her mom, it was awesome to see them interact, for her to share these stories about her daughter. I'm telling you, we laughed. That was an episode where we just cracked up, seriously. We had the best time just being with our moms, talking about our experiences, you know, when we were younger versus now, and certain things they saw in us and that they encouraged in us. And just to, it's funny how a lot of times parents are proud of their children, but we're like proud of our moms. Like, it's so funny, but it's so true. And I don't know if you feel that way, but we gave a shout out to those who were, you know, missing their moms on Mother's Day, those who were having moments, you know, during the Mother's Day time, because that can be hard for a lot of people, right? So we took the time to really, you know, acknowledge people who don't have their mothers any longer, but what an impact a mom makes. And so we had that beautiful discussion. My mom was able to be a part, and it was just a beautiful thing. It was a very unique episode. And so you definitely want to check it out.
I was super excited because seeing you interact with your mom, I love your mom so much. I love your mom so much. And so it was exciting to hear her talk about how when my mom would say some things, she would be like, oh my gosh, like that just sounded like me. Like they had so many similarities that I didn't even know existed. And as my mom was sharing and I was sharing about my mom, like you would laugh because it'd be like, wait a minute. My mom was doing this.
Yes. It was so funny to see all of those things. You know, I'm the creative learning leader, right? So I always got to find the nuggets. I always got to find something that's going to surprise somebody and educate somebody. So to find out that they were both educators, to find out that they were, well, I'm not going to give it all away, but they love children, right? And they both love to sing. Incredible. So I was just blown away because we learned some new things and just had the best time. So that episode is one for the books for sure.
One of my favorite things before we hit the next episode was we got to find out more information about you and your family and your sisters. And so I loved that, and giving away some nuggets about that. Y'all go check that out. Maybe we can all come together and get them to so one of the things we found out to release some new things to us. So I'm hoping as more of you go watch that episode, and maybe in our DMs we will hear some things that motivate them to continue to allow us to experience the wonderful items that they provide for us in the community to be supported.
I think Dr. Tomesha is trying to throw some hints, but y'all don't, just just
get in the DMs, y'all. Get in the DMs. Watch that episode and get in the DMs. Get in the DMs. I want her to see how y'all feel about that. Post about that show. Oh, y'all can even find the flyer from the motherhood show. That's what you could do. And post on it. Post on it, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Twitter. Get over there and tell Ambassador Dr. Anita what you all think about that episode and how she should continue to release the things that her and her family have created. I'm gonna leave that right there. Y'all gotta watch the episode to find out about that.
Watch the episode. Glory to God. Watch the episode. You may find out some interesting things. Interesting things. So yeah, our very last episode of the season. Let me tell you, if you have not watched any of our episodes and you watch this one, you probably cried. You probably had a moment. You probably felt some tugs on your heartstrings because we had a chance to speak with Dr. Pointer McCreary about the mission of forgiveness. Because we've all dealt with unforgiveness, but this woman is a testament to the power of God to work in your life to actually bring you to a place of forgiveness. Powerful story. And maybe you've even already heard of her because of her story has gone global, literally. And so you may have already heard about her story and heard about the miraculous things that had happened to her. I mean, I wish I could have called it the mission of miracles because that's how I feel like it. It's just miraculous. It's miraculous how God orchestrated the connections that led to the ministry that she continues today based on her obedience to forgive. My mind was blown, and I know yours will be too. She is a philanthropist. She is an activist. She is a community organizer. She is a CEO. She's an author. I mean, just all the things, and the most beautiful, God-fearing woman that you'll ever meet. And so talking with Dr. Pointer was tremendous. Once again, every time I hear her story, I'm enlightened all over again, and I'm challenged and convicted all over again. So definitely you have to watch this show. And I really admire that she is consistently consistent. Her show on Facebook is consistent for years. And so many people have dropped by the Hope Haven, have heard of the Hope Haven, have contributed to the Hope Haven and all of the different missions and organizations that she supports, because she is a supporter and she loves to give. And it's so apparent by all the lives that she's touched over the years. And, she just got married this past year. As an older woman getting married, we didn't even get a chance to dive into that portion of her story. But I tell you what, she waited for God's best for her, because her husband is a phenomenal man of God. And I just wish her all the best because she is still honeymooning. Okay. They are enjoying life together, traveling, doing all the things. And so it was just a pleasure to talk to her. We were literally out of town at the time. Dr. Tomesha and I were literally at an event, and we were still able to connect because this was the first episode where both our guests and we were in separate locations completely. And we all had to chime in literally from different states. that was adventurous. But we thank God for the internet, and we thank God for bandwidth and Wi-Fi and all the things, because it was truly worth it to have that conversation.
It was, and you're so right. So us having an opportunity to even be on Hope Haven when we released our book, and seeing her in this stage of her life, and it's the joy that she shares as being, I still say, a newlywed, okay?
Right.
In being in that area of life, but then also hearing her story, I am continuously in awe and amazed by what God did on a global scale, to change the lives of so many. And so continuously to see that thread running through where we have the opportunity to share the love of Christ, but then also to see how it impacts other people. Her legacy, part of it, just part of it, is the opportunity to see, yes, that forgiveness, but then how that forgiveness parlayed into the love and the enhancement and the growth of a life in so many people, so many specifically young girls that have attended her schools. Like that, even the precipice of that, I love that we were able to share about that. And then wrapping it up and bringing it home. So as we always tell you all about resources, right? We had during that season that we shared on her show, The Marriage Bed of Roses. And then during this season on here, we've been sharing about our books, The Real Me, right? And then Parenting Proverbs. And so we are encouraged and we push to make sure that you have available to you things that can support you within your life and within your mission. And so we encourage you to go and get those books. You can look at our Amazon bookshelves at amazon.com by researching either of our names there, and you will find the things that we have been able to support and supply for your life so that you can accomplish and complete the mission that God has for you. And I want to highlight my co-host and say it has been beautiful to see how she has worked within the mission and been able to support young girls. And so I would love to give you a moment to just share about what you are doing right now as you are in real time, in real life, walking out this mission with our last guest for this season before we end today.
Thank you so very much. Yeah, it's so near and dear to my heart, the ministry, particularly to women, to young women. You know, many of us have much that we can be thankful for, just so much. And we don't realize how fortunate we are. And so, yes, with Dr. Pointer McCreary, I've been able to partner with her, with the Gloria Teen Pointer movement, and we are able to support through my ministry, Lifestyle Image Network, 10 girls in Accra, Ghana. It's going on about 3 years now, where we've been able to supply food, clothing, shelter, books, just so much to them. They each have a copy of my book. We've been able to make sure that they know about Jesus Christ through pen pal discipleship that we do. We celebrate their birthdays and video chat with them. I've been able to take many women and enable them to be a disciple for these girls. The premise of my book being that older women should be teaching younger women, right? And so we want to put feet to our faith and apply that. And so we've been able to take these 10 girls and watch them go from junior high to high school. And now I have 3 of them in nursing school following my footsteps. They call me Mama Anita, and it warms my heart because the Lord gave me this vision on the heels of me losing my first child, which would have been a girl. And so I have no daughters, but now God has given me 10. And I'm telling you that it warms my heart every time I get a chance to share about them, just because we don't realize how fortunate we are. And God calls us to not just pray about things and situations, but to literally put feet to our faith and to be the hands and feet of Jesus, to start the ministry and finish the mission. And so that is my heart's desire, is to finish this mission. I want these girls to grow up and to become what is needed to be the answer to someone's prayer, like Dr. Pointer McCreary so eloquently put in her interview with us. She not only forgave her daughter's killer, but then she was able to say, you know what, I'm going to be what I'm praying for someone else. And she literally became that person. And so that I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of someone that I think of as a giant in the faith, truly, and just coming alongside her. And I'm so happy to partner with her organization and to let my foundation, the Titus 10, come alongside what she is doing with these girls, because life is not about just us, right? It is literally about what we leave behind. What is that legacy? What are we going to be known for? What are people going to say about you when you're not around? And so I'm so just in love with all my girls, all the women who have come alongside and supported the mission, who have given, who have written them, who have adopted some of the girls and have sponsored them. So we've adopted these 10, and we always are looking for sponsors. You can go directly to Anitamckaney.com, right? And you can directly just do whatever you feel the Lord is leading you to do financially, or if you can't give financially, of course, we solicit your prayers, and we want to make sure that these girls feel the love, that they feel the support. They are orphans. They don't have mothers, fathers, brothers, or sisters to support them. And what we don't want is for them to end up on the street dependent on someone who doesn't truly love them and care about them. So we want to give them the education needed, which is one of the things that I am truly pushing towards as an ambassador, is the education of women, the education of young girls. As the creative learning leader, that's my mandate. And so I truly need for more women to step up and support women. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and thank you. Thank you for highlighting that. It means the world to me that they are able to not only know Jesus as their personal Lord and Savior, but know what it is and what it looks like to be loved, to be cared for, and then to care for someone else as nurses out here. So thank you.
Okay, now y'all know I have my seatbelt moment off. That's right there. Come on now, y'all. We just did a season 2 recap and got extra new on the end of the episode. Okay. Come on now, y'all. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So how are you finishing the mission and putting feet to your faith? Okay, now y'all, I want you all to make sure that you use that hashtag and put that in our last comments. I want to see this from you, because that is what it's about. That is what we are talking about. So listen, we love that you come to spend time with us. We love that you're here, but our goal and our mission is to see you walk out what God has called you to do, right? We want you to finish the mission. Come on now. So take the information that you've gleaned here, get over there and watch those episodes so that you can get the full understanding and allow God to give you additional revelation to complete and accomplish what He has given for you to do. You can do this. We are encouraged by you, and we pray that we are encouraging you as well. So, as we wrap up today's episode, we say get ready for season 3. We are going to knock it out of the box yet again. Why? Because we go to the Father and we say, Lord, what is it that you want us to do? We say yes, and He does it every single time, bringing and providing for you exactly what you need to accomplish what He has called you to do. So go ahead now, start that ministry and finish the mission. That's what you got to do. That's what we're sharing with you now. So thanks for joining us for season 2, the mission wrap up. We will see you on the next episode. God bless you guys.
God bless you. Until next time.
Thank you for joining Ministry on Mission TV. On behalf of Drs. Anita Mckaney and Tomesha D. Walker, we invite you to connect in the community and online at Ministry on Mission. Here at at Ministry on Mission TV, we equipped and encourage women to start their ministry and finish the mission. Remember,
Isaiah 40:3. Prepare on purpose.
Mark 1 and 3. Let's hear your voice.